So, with that said, we're going to move on to your favorite segment of the week. It is He Said, She Said, You Said. It's our favorite comments from you this past week. Now, there were some issues with distribution with Facebook this week, so we weren't able to get some comments from you on 2 of our posts, but we still got some great comments from you from Power, NXT, and Dynamite this week. But with that said, before we get into them, I will ask, if you see one of our posts and you have not seen it in one of the groups that you do post in, or that you do participate in on Facebook, please give us a share. We much appreciate it into those groups. It really helps more people get exposed to the Sound Off and makes this community much, much bigger, and we can see more and more different opinions, as we're about to see here. With He Said, She Said, You Said, and we're going to put that on to NWA Power Surge. Jerome N. in the NWA official Facebook group gave his thoughts on this week's Power Surge by saying, interesting show. Like the idea of the Battle Royal coming up in 3 weeks. I hope Trevor gets the title shot at the pay-per-view. Not too happy that Adonis and Latimer got the #1 contender spot in the tag team title picture. Always like to see Aldis squirm. He needs to squirm right out of that championship belt. I agree. It's about time that Aldis loses the belt for at least a little while, even if it's a Flair style. What do you guys think? Do you think it's time that Aldis loses the belt for a little bit? Give us a little bit of freshening it up, We'll see. So that's what we got for Power. Let's move on to comments from NXT this week. We got Soundoff regular Darren A. and the NXT UK NXT 205 Live Worlds Collide group gave his thoughts to our questions this week by saying, I definitely am looking forward to next week's matches, especially the 2 title matches, Kushida versus Santos Escobar for the NXT Cruiserweight title, and Raquel Gonzalez versus Mercedes Martinez for the NXT Women's title. Speaking of titles, I enjoyed the street fight that led to us seeing the crowning of new NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. To me, it was near perfect because one ladder was almost completely broken and one end of a table propped in the corner was broken. Other than that, it was still an excellent main event. It was. As I said, it made our 5. What did you guys think of that main event? Do you guys enjoy that Shotzi and Ember versus The Way? Do you like that the titles changed hand? Let us know. And that was it for NXT, but we got a few comments about AEW Dynamite. Blood and guts. Gotta do it the NXT way, You gotta say the growl when you say blood and guts. So, another Soundoff regular, Adam B, gave his thoughts regarding Blood and Guts on our main post, stating, thought it was a really good show, and Blood and Guts was very entertaining. I'm so sick of seeing people on other sites and other posts complain about everything, though. Wrestling fans can be the worst. They watch every week and bitch about every little thing. Why watch if you think it's so bad? I watch because I enjoy it and like seeing things like that Spanish Fly spot or a 50-year-old getting thrown off a cage just to put over a younger star. I agree. There will always be people that will complain because they think that they have a right to tell other companies what to do. Now again, you are the fans. It's a free market though, right? If you're doing something or they're doing something you don't like, you switch the channel. They see that and they realize they got to change, right? Sure, voice it, but don't, I guess, pardon my French, shit on everything, right? Just critique it for sure. Say, man, I really loved it, but that could have been better. If you read the Sound Off, that is pretty much what we do. We like to poke fun of a lot of things. There's a difference between poking fun and just pooping on everything. Said shitting once, I might as well say it a second time. That said, we'll move on to John P., who sent along his thoughts in a private message to us on Dynamite by saying, I wanted to let my opinion be known about Blood and Guts. The show overall was really good as usual. I have no issue with the Jericho bump. Gotta keep the wrestlers safe. My issue was with the commercial breaks. They really took me out of the immersion of the match, and completely missing how the ring got torn up is inexcusable. I see what he meant, and I did respond saying that I agree with the commercial breaks after everybody had been in the ring. Once the match can finish, don't do picture-in-picture or commercial breaks. Get the permission to go, no commercials at that point. Or do a little picture-in-picture ad down the corner where the action is the bigger thing. That was my only gripe. I don't mind the commercials during the earlier parts because, well, it's a long match. And if anything, it gave you a time to go have a break. It's basically they're saying, you know what, the action right now is not going to be the best. Why don't you go get something to drink or go take a pee? Right? But, So then Corey M, in the AEW Dynamite group gave his thoughts on a possible Kenny Omega versus Orange Cassidy match at Double or Nothing by saying, it was a pretty good show. I'd love to see Kenny and Orange, but in a steel cage with all other parties banned from ringside. Loved watching Pinnacle get their beat. Their rear ends beat. And with that, that is it for He Said, She Said, You Said.